to our show, I'm Just Saying. It's just a little weekly show that a group of us friends put together to bring you news, current events, hot topics in an educated, informative, and hopefully entertaining way. My name is Dee.
Hi, I'm Shani.
And I'm Teague.
So, what's up?
Okay, so girls, I am going to work and I'm listening to the Tom Joyner show.
Her way to work. Because I'm thinking it now. Like, you ain't got no job.
Well, I have, wait a minute, I got a part-time job. So I'm going to work and I'm listening to the Tom Joyner show. And they have a guest, Tamika Hall. And she's talking about the death of her 16-month-old baby girl, Kaylee Hall. And basically what happened is she's in a service and it's in Colorado. And it's Fort Carson military-based hospital. And she takes her daughter there. And she gets there and she's waiting over an hour and a half for anybody to see her. They did check her daughter in when she first got there. 6 minutes in, they say, oh, well, she's cold, but she'll be okay or whatever. They sit her in her room all this time. Long story short, when they get her back to the room, her daughter is lethargic. She's not very coherent. She's very cold. No one gave her an IV. No one did any blood testing. She goes to like almost pass out. The mom, Tamika, goes to the nurses station. She tells them, okay, my daughter is not looking right. I need a doctor or whatever. The nurses tell her, okay. She goes back. Nobody comes. Her husband, at this point, Kaylee passes out. Her husband is like, you need to get a doctor now. She goes back and she's hysterical and nobody's moving fast. And so, long story short, by the time the doctor got there, it was too late and the baby, poor Kaylee, she dies. So, at this point, the family wants answers from the hospital. They just want to know why it was such a lackadaisical attitude towards their service, and just really want to know what things are going to change to make it better for other patients. What do you guys think?
I heard about that, and this is, I believe this was at Evans Army Community Hospital.
Yep.
And the hospital's not taking any responsibility at all. The hospital actually, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Tamika Hall wrote a letter to the White House, and prior to that she hadn't heard anything from the hospital. After the letter to the White House, the hospital did contact her, and their response was, we didn't do anything wrong, your baby would have died anyway.
And that's crazy.
Which is unacceptable.
Unacceptable. So we're really just bringing it to your attention, because had they not been on the Tom Joyner show, I know I wouldn't have heard about it. Dion, do you remember the website? They have a Facebook, actually.
I do, yes. If you log on to Facebook and go to Justice, the number 4, and Kaylee, Caylee, that's Justice, the number 4, and Kaylee, you can read, print, download, and actually sign the petition. The mom, Tamika, and her family, they're trying to get legislation passed, or whatever can be done to stop incidents like this from happening in the future. Also, you can go to blackamericaweb.com. You can actually read the transcript of and listen to the interview that was on Tom Joyner with Tamika. But like you two said, it's an absolute outrage. I believe during the interview, Tom Joyner or one of the morning show members asked, was it crowded in the hospital? And she said no. She said she thinks they may have been the only family in there that night.
Absolutely.
So
somebody got an answer for it.
Yes, somebody got to make that make sense.
Yeah. And the crazy thing, the thing that I always think about is it's your child. You know your child better than any other doctor. And I've been to emergency, and I'm sure you guys have with your children, and the doctor's like, oh, no, it's nothing. Oh, it's okay, or whatever. They did the same thing with my youngest, Julian. When he had his seizure, they sent him back home. He's fine. He had another seizure and seized for over an hour. They were calling the chaplain to come talk to me. That's how bad it got. He had to learn how to walk again and everything. But I knew something was off when they sent me home the first time, and I should have said at that point, no, y'all need to do some more testing. My son is not right. You have to be an advocate for your child, especially when they're small, like 16 months, a year old, 2-year-olds. It's okay to look crazy as long as they doing something for your baby.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing. She said that the nurses wouldn't do anything, that they basically treated her and acted as if she were just overzealous, overprotective, and overbearing. And
mind you, though, when the child died, that was the second visit to ER. They had been there before and sent her home. I can't remember. I don't want to get it wrong. I don't know if they said with a virus type symptoms or flu-like or something like that, but they sent her home for a virus. Well, just because it's called the practice of medicine, I'm going to need you to do more than practice on mine. I'm going to need you to do something to figure out what's wrong. And so we do need justice for Kaylee. We need answers for the family. So thank you for bringing that to the forefront. And now you, our viewers, are more aware and again can go to Facebook, Justice, the number 4, Kaylee. You can go to blackamericaweb.com to check out the interview.
I think that that's a terrible tragedy. And I think that it sounds really parallel to the story of Benji, Ben Wilson, who died in the 80s because he did not receive immediate medical attention, inappropriate medical attention, because he was taken to a hospital that was not a trauma center and that did not address his wound immediately, and because too much time passed, he ended up dying. He was not shot in an area of his body that would have fatally wounded him or killed him, but because the treatment was not swift and it was not appropriate, he ended up dying. I think that healthcare professionals have an obligation, and I also think parents have an obligation to insist and persist when it comes to medical care and attention.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I just don't understand what's going on, period, right now. There was another incident, believe it or not, y'all, kind of like that, Trayvon Martin.
What?
And it's crazy, but I'm like, okay, what's going on in Florida? It was down in Florida again. And that was the Jordan Davis.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
A couple weeks ago. And my understanding is this little boy, I think 17.
He was 17.
He was in a car with a group of his friends, and a white guy, 45 years old, approached them at the gas station and told them their music was too loud. They needed to turn it down. And they basically let him know they weren't going to turn their music down, and he told them, "I'll be back." Went to his car, got a gun, and came back and sprayed their car with 9 bullets.
Shut up.
And 9 bullets. And one of the little boys in the back, Jordan Davis, died as a result of that.
That's crazy. Ooh, goodness, girl. You talking about a reason to go to... Because it's just like people don't care, and it's always an excuse, and we feel like we're entitled, and you get the road rage and all these other things. But these are people's children that they're killing, and it's like... It's craziness. I would be livid. And you said something about Florida is one of so many states that
Stand Your Ground. Yeah, it's called Stand Your Ground, and basically what it does is it gives a person the right to, if they feel or claim that they feel that they're in danger, as a defense, they don't have to retreat. They can actually use deadly force against the people or persons that they supposedly feel in danger from. The problem is, if you look at these recent cases, Trayvon Martin, Jordan Davis, how this Stand Your Ground is used, it just seems like it's a way to just gun down black people. I haven't heard, and I'm not saying they aren't out there, but I haven't heard of any Stand Your Ground cases where there is white on white or even black on white. And I'm not saying that it should be that. It shouldn't be anything. If someone is not in imminent danger, but first of all, who are you to tell somebody to turn their music down?
Right.
That's the first thing. The second thing is, who among us would just go and approach a car full of teenagers? I wouldn't approach a car full of any teenagers, black, white, Latina, Asian, or any other. Second of all, did he feel like he had a little courage juice in him because he had his gun in the car?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. If he had been unarmed, would he have still made that same approach? So there's something needs to be looked at, you know, and I'm not here to debate gun control and all of that, or the Constitution and the right to bear arms, but we need people control, and something clearly does need to change.
Absolutely.
Something needs to change.
And the thing is, times are changing, and you have laws that's been on books for years and years and years, but honestly, people and the world in general is just getting crazier. So some of these laws and legislature that we have had in the past, they need to be looked at. Like, I mean, you can't just feel entitled because somebody offends you to be able to pull out a gun and say, "Oh, I was threatened. Oh my goodness, Shirley, you looked at me and I thought you were going to kill me." You know, it's crazy. You can't be able to do that. So we do need to look, Senate, Congress, everybody need to look and reevaluate some of the laws that we have in some of the states. We really just do.
I agree.
What is Ohio's position?
Ohio doesn't have
What do we
a
have?
stand your ground law. Ohio has something called the Castle Doctrine.
Okay.
What that means is if you are in your car or your vehicle, then you have the right to use deadly force
Your car or your
as a
vehicle?
defense. I'm sorry, your car, your home. Your car, your vehicle. You know what the hell I meant. But anyway,
I know what you said.
we have the, that's what you said, Frank, that's what you said. But that's what's in Ohio. We have the Castle Doctrine.
Oh, I feel that, because I tell you what, you let somebody be coming through my backyard,
What you gonna do?
they getting shot.
What's your
They getting shot.
Oh my
with
goodness.
what? A rubber band, slingshot, David Glock. What are they getting shot with? A shot
Nothing,
of
because
Hennessy?
she ain't got nothing. She ain't
Exactly.
So they
So
a look, a shot for her dirty
Wait a minute,
look.
they might get a shot of Hennessy.
Right.
Speaking of which, oh shoot, it's empty.
oh, yeah, right. Stand your ground. Maybe that's stood they ground, your ground,
Right,
and everything else. But these are just some things we wanted you to be aware of with
Now.
Kaylee and with Jordan Davis.
Right.
I think that the most dangerous thing to be right now is a young black male in America, and unfortunately, that tragedy, I think, is just reflective of a bigger issue, and that is stereotyping, the impact of stereotypes. I am appalled and astounded that this story has not gotten more attention, and I'm gonna be real curious to see how this trial turns out. That young man should never have been has lost his life the way that he did.